This episode of the MLB Guardcast is sponsored by Sadnap Studios. Are you in need of assistance when it comes to digital arts, logo creation, website design, brand building, or designing merch? Then look no further than Sadnap Studios. The team at Sadnap Studios wants to help and make your dreams into reality. Everything is original and organically created, nothing AI. You can follow them and check out some of their incredible work on Instagram at sadnap_studios_art drop. Thanks again to the folks at Sadnap Studios. Go Guards. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for another episode of the MLB Guardcast, episode number 31. I am Mr. Onion supporter, Mike Vorhies. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, and I believe you are team ketchup, or are you team onion? It is Bryan Shaw.
Team.
Bryan, how are you, brother? Happy Friday, my man.
Happy Friday. I am good. The Guardians have been scuffling a little bit, so would like to see some improvement. But I was looking through Twitter and through Guardians Twitter, and a funny tweet had come across that somebody had reposted from themselves about 2 years ago. And in a reply to their own tweet, they said, "This team is just dragging to the All-Star break. They really need the All-Star break. Comerica Park and losing seasons and playing a position player pitching is not a fun time." This was from 2 years ago. It just happened to be the exact same scenario 2 years later. So
let's the Guards are 57-35. Folks, we have the second best record in all of baseball, trailing
and the best record in the American League, tied with the
Orioles.
Orioles.
We are tied with the Orioles. We are 3.5 games behind the Phillies for best record in all of baseball. The Phillies are 61-32. We're 57-35, 5.5 games up on the Twins, I think, or has that changed? I know that we have lost a few now, which is not ideal. But
they're 4.5 up on the Twins.
4.5. So we lost a game on the Twins. All right, Twins are 4.5 up.
Because the Twins are 7-3 in their last 10. We're 5-5. But just to give you a couple of other teams, the Orioles are 4-6 in their last 10. The Yankees are 3-7 in their last 10.
Yankees are in trouble.
The Royals are 5-5 in their last 10.
How about the Dodgers?
The Dodgers,
they're scuffling too. I mean,
the Dodgers are 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah, folks, we're gonna have ups and downs. We've talked about it, but we're still the best team in the American League. Calm down.
I would say this stretch that they've had against Kansas City, Chicago, and then Detroit, this has probably been the toughest stretch that they've had, where it just hasn't been great. But even then, they're just kind of hovering around 500. And about a month ago, Mike, you and I had said, when you're 20 to 25 games over 500, if you just go 500 the rest of the way, you're going to make the playoffs. Now, that obviously we have bigger goals than that. We want them to be better than that. And I think they will be, but we've got some injuries. The starting pitching is really struggling. Some players that were hitting really well for you are struggling in recent weeks. So nothing feels right now, but I wouldn't freak out.
No, it's been a couple weeks since we recorded last on the 21st. Quick recap. We swept Toronto 3-0. We beat the Orioles 2-1. We did lose a series to Kansas City 3-1. We beat the White Sox 2-1, the Giants 2-1, and then just recently, after yesterday, we lost to the Tigers 3-1. So
you lost 2 series in there, and that's
2 series. Right. We've still managed to win series I mean, this team has gone through some roster moves. I know some people are really up in arms when it comes to our starting pitching. And I'm going to say this, and it's not an emergency. However, starting pitching to me is a glaring need right now, but
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's a glaring need throughout all of baseball, especially as you inch closer to the trade deadline and teams are trying to decide if they're in it, if they're out. I'm not paying a king's ransom for a one or a two starter. I'm not. If I'm the Guardians, I'm not either.
Well, last time we recorded, we had mentioned our old friend Aaron Savali,
We did.
and he ended up
He
getting
has since been
traded.
traded. Yeah.
Yes. And but we had talked about if you went and got Aaron Savali back, you're not trading for him to start in the playoffs for you. You're trading for him to get you through this June swoon in July.
Yeah.
This what they're doing, this shuffling of the roster to eat up some innings. And that's clearly what I think they're trying to do with some of the moves they've made recently in acquiring Spencer Howard and just moving some pieces around, trying to get Logan Allen and Tristan McKenzie as they get sent on to AAA, get them right. Because if
Hmm.
they're not right, if they continue to scuffle for the rest of the season, you're probably not going to make a good playoff run. You need
No,
those guys to be right.
I had a gentleman, I won't say his name, but he attacked me when I jokingly said that Logan Allen, who is 8-4, mind you, on the season, has statistically wins and losses, probably one of our better pitchers. However, his ERA is just south of 6.
Yeah, I
And when
wins
I
and
said that they
losses.
sent, yeah, when I jokingly said, well, we sent Logan Allen down, this person was like, the Guardians are stupid, the ownership sucks. Like, why would you send your best pitcher down to AAA? And I said, whoa, 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 wait a minute, hold on. You're saying Logan Allen's the best pitcher we have on our staff? Then you're obviously not watching these games. Clearly,
Yeah.
you're not. He is
So,
so up and down, and they sent him down along with Tristan McKenzie so that they could find themselves.
yes.
Tristan McKenzie is pitching today in Columbus, game one of a doubleheader. Logan Allen, I don't believe he's scheduled to pitch until Sunday, I believe, for Columbus. We
Well,
just want
and
them to be consistent. That's
there
all.
was there
And
was something that had come up too when Logan Allen got sent down. I forget who suggested it, but given the All-Star break and how you pitch in AAA, it was an opportunity to probably just also give Logan Allen some rest on
mhm,
innings because he's going to hit his max innings that he's ever pitched before here actually very soon.
yeah,
And so that's something that you have to consider because these guys are young. But the
right.
the the starting rotation overall, I mean, if you look at it as it is now and how you expected this to be, did you really expect, Logan Allen and Tristan McKenzie to be in AAA? Did you expect Ben Lively to be one of your best pitchers? Did you expect only Tanner Bybee to be, up there in terms of your best pitchers? You didn't expect Gavin to miss half the season. You didn't
Nope.
expect Carlos Carrasco to even be a part of this rotation. Nobody
Right.
wanted Ben Lively when we signed him. They were mad that we did. So obviously things have not gone how they've expected it. But I think that you want to just keep kind of throwing darts at the dartboard with
Yeah.
guys like McCacken, guys like Spencer Howard. In Spencer Howard's start yesterday, they had said during the broadcast that the Guardians pitching coaching staff hasn't even touched him yet. They were like, "Hey, we need you to start. Just go out there, just do your thing." And then they're going to look at him and then they're going to make some adjustments. But they didn't want to mess with him
Right.
before he had even thrown a pitch. So, yesterday it's just one of those days. But they've taken a guy like Ben Lively, he's looked good. They've taken a guy that was off the scrap heap in Pedro Avila. He's looked really good for us since he's been here. So there's no reason to think that if you don't keep going after guys that maybe you can make a couple of tweaks to, and they can be serviceable for you until you can make a trade, until you can get Tristan and Logan Allen figured out and get them back up here.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. This is why you have depth, folks. We have young pitchers and we need to protect them. Bybee, Lively, Carrasco is 37 years old. Tristan he doesn't look right. You know he's battling an injury. He probably should have had surgery, and maybe he does this offseason. Who knows?
They're claiming he's
Logan
perfectly
Allen,
healthy and his
it
velocity
just he
is
just
up.
looks he looks different. If you look at film from last year and you look at film from this year, he looks different. He doesn't look like the same sticks that we're used to. Hopefully, him going down to AAA, it fixes it. It helps him with his control, and he can come back and be that stud that we know he can be. With Logan Allen, they're just looking for consistency. He'll have a
Yep.
game where he goes 6 innings, strikes out 8, and looks really good, and then he follows it up with 3 2/3 innings and walks 5 and gets destroyed. Like he
Right.
gives up a bunch of hits. They just want consistency. Be mad all you want to at the front office. Why? What has the front office done to show you that they don't care? So they're taking a chance on a guy that a team designates for assignment or somebody that hits waivers. We did
Well,
that with Ben Lively, and look what he's done for us. Carlos Carrasco, same thing. Albeit Carrasco has not been great,
but he's
but
been
he
better
seems
since
to
he's been back from
find
injury.
right. He finds a way to keep
Hmm.
us in ball games, and it's on our offense.
And
Speaking of our offense, we're still in it, guys. We're calling people up from AAA, and instead of sitting them, we're playing them. I.e., John Kenzie Noel. What happened, Brian, when I text you the night that John
oh yeah,
Kenzie
where's
got
that
called up?
video?
That there's been some things that have happened. The video never happened, but I
Oh,
text
okay.
you and said that if Noel hits a home run, I was going to run outside and scream like a little girl. And what does Noel do? He hits a home run in his
He
first
hits a
at bat.
junk
It was great.
donk.
And he does. And he's hit 3 home runs since he's been here. Like, dude's got power. He's going to play. Angel Martinez. We saw what he did in spring training. I was shocked that he didn't make the team. He gets injured. He comes back and he's hitting what, 346? He's got
Yeah.
3 RBIs. He's got a home run. Like, I think he
So
needs to be playing every day.
those guys have looked great. The three I'd say most recent call ups that you've had in so Angel Martinez has almost a 900 OPS. John Kenzie Noel has an 860 OPS, and Daniel Schneemann has an 830 OPS.
Those are good numbers in my book.
And those are all call ups and guys that you're getting a look at. Now you're starting to get into the crowded territory, especially in the outfield.
Well,
You
our
because all
40
those
man
guys.
isn't our 40 man's crowded too. So
So you I we've been clamoring for a right-handed bat for right field for a long time.
yep, we
Does John
have.
Kenzie Noel now fill that role? And do you
I
not need to
don't
get that bat?
listen. I
I
think
would say you can't trust it because
no, he's still
he's young.
young.
And
Yeah,
so
he
you
needs
would want
more
to get
at
an
bats.
established
And
person. I agree. So I could hear it
listen,
in your voice. I agree. I just asked that question aloud.
yeah,
But yeah,
we need a right-handed power bat. We've been talking about it forever. Hopefully, the Guardians have heard us. The front office is working the phones. The trade deadline's coming soon. We've got the
I
All-Star break coming up. We've got a series against the Rays that starts tonight in St. Petersburg in that crappy, stupid stadium that they play
yeah, in
in, where
Tropicana.
balls hit the
Yeah.
catwalk, and uh, that's the worst stadium in all of baseball.
So
Can't wait for them to actually get an actual stadium. So we're getting there. We're going to limp into the All-Star break. Oh,
I had heard that the priority right now is the draft. And then after the
mhm.
draft, they'll start seriously working the phones. And then hopefully after the All-Star break, have a better idea of who's buying, who's selling. However, I would not be upset if you came home from Toronto with a couple of players. You know who's on my
Oh,
wish list
who's
for not Toronto, excuse me, Tampa.
who's on your wish list? Because I got a couple players I'd like.
I'd say
Let's hear yours.
you go to Tampa and you go pluck away Randy Arozarena and Zach Eflin.
Hmm. That's funny that you mentioned Randy Arozarena, because Sports Illustrated released an article that said that the Guardians are in on Randy
Oh,
Arozarena
really?
and are trying to facilitate a potential trade if Tampa continues to fall and get out of the wild card race, which I believe they are not great this year.
That wasn't
I've
scripted.
also
I
heard,
hadn't heard that, to be honest.
yeah, well, it's funny because I was getting ready to drop that knowledge and you mentioned his name, so that just goes in.
I
If
had
we're
not
able to
read
get,
that, so
if
great.
we're
I
able to
mean,
get, yeah, if we can get
wasn't there a
playoff Randy
rumor?
Arozarena
Wasn't there a rumor in the
and
offseason that they were interested in Rosarena?
yeah, I think the Guardians, along with a few other teams, are interested. Yeah, he's hitting 200. Maybe it's a change of scenery that will do him well. We know what type of talent he is. We've seen what he does in the playoffs, how he can literally put a team on his back and carry them. I'd be okay putting him in left field, moving Quan to center, and uh, putting either Noel in right, Brennan in right,
I mean, I would imagine a
Martinez in
Rosarena
right.
could play right field.
I think he prefers left, and if we're trading for him, put him wherever he wants. I would like to see Stephen Kwan in center field. I think Kwan would be a really good center fielder. I've said that since we brought him up.
Yeah.
He just looks really, I know Kwan looks very comfortable in left. So if you ask Mr. Arozarena, hey, you mind playing right field? I'm sure he's going to say, sure, put me in the lineup. Let's go.
But then, you know,
And then there you go. And then you're
and
able to get a pitcher like Zach Eflin, or they have a few that I would like. I
and
think
then if you do that, so say you do that and you move Stephen
mhm.
Kwan to center field, there's been a couple of guys that have been rotating in in center field. Do you move one of them to shortstop?
Yes, Angel Martinez. I think
I'm
Angel
down.
Martinez should be our starting shortstop right now until otherwise. He's hitting the ball well. He's playing well. He's drawing walks. He's getting on base. Play him every day. Schneemann can fill in when needed, and Tyler Freeman can fill in when needed. We already sent Gabriel Arias down to AAA, so we don't have to worry about trying to find him at bats. And then you've got John Kenzie Noel, who could play DH. David Fry can DH
So
because Bo
you
Naylor's starting to
you
figure
sending
it
Brian
out.
Rocchio down too?
No, I see that's the thing. I think Rocchio, Arias, um, those have to be, I think those are names that are going to have to be floated in trades. We've given Rocchio every opportunity in the world to play shortstop and to do it well. And defensively, he's great. Offensively, though, he's not getting on base and he's not
He's
hitting for
he's been
average. And
average since June. So since
okay,
June, he's been an
so
average
maybe
hitter.
he's heating up. But
But
Angel
you want better
Martinez,
than average.
right?
You would
If
hope
you want
better
to
than
run,
average.
right? We'll see. I mean, it's always fun when trade time comes because these rumors start circulating. I heard the Guardians are in on Cody Bellinger from the Cubs. There's no shot we
No,
get
there's no
Cody
way. He
Bellinger.
just signed that big extension, didn't he?
He did, but the Cubs are tanking right now.
I don't see
I
that.
mean, I
I
wouldn't say no, but that's a lot of money to
I
pay
don't
him.
I can't see that being a fit. I think
He's
that's
a
just a
left-handed
writer.
bat as well, and I don't want another left-handed bat in our lineup. I
I think
don't.
that's just a
We have
writer
plenty.
making
Maybe.
connections.
Or it's potentially that the Guardians are like down on the list for him, but he makes sense to go to
Yeah.
Cleveland. He
Yeah.
doesn't, but there's plenty of teams that are going to say, "Hey, we'll take you if you're interested." But we'll get there. We'll talk about the trade deadline as it looms. We're going to talk All-Star game here real quick.
Well, by the
Before
time we
that, though,
record next, we might have some deals to talk about.
we might, and that's what you guys are going to have to wait and see. But here's my first half thoughts and opinions, Brian.
Okay.
I want to share
Give them
these
to me.
with you.
Yeah. Shoot.
This team has shocked the world. No one thought this was possible. At the start of the season, everybody said the Guardians would finish dead last or fourth, potentially third in our division, and we're sitting first, 20 plus games over 500. Stephen Vogt, manager of the year, hands down, manager of the year. There isn't anybody that can hold a candle to him. He has taken a team that Tito Francona just managed last year, and he's turned them into whatever they are. How his team continues to win series with three starting pitchers not playing well, baffles me. They continue to hit in tough situations. They get hits when it's needed. The bullpen has been the backbone of this team. The bullpen has been able to keep us in games when starters can't go more than 4 innings or 5 innings. Emmanuel Clase is the American League Cy Young Award winner. Book it. I'm calling it now. That guy has been lights out. He has an earned run average under 1 under
When was the
one.
last time you've
And
had a reliever as the Cy Young? Any idea?
Steve Bedrosian, I think, was one of the last ones, and that was back in like the 80s, I think. I don't even think Mariano Rivera ever won the Cy Young, and he
I
was
will
lights
say
out closer.
Paul Skeens is going to win it if he keeps this up.
Oh, he's rookie of the year, hands down. He's starting the All-Star game. That
Yeah.
guy is a stud. I
He
can't wait
might
to
he
watch
might
him.
he might win Cy Young as well if
He
he
could
keeps
for the
this up.
National League. That's fantastic. Good luck, man. I loved watching him in college. I love that he plays for Pittsburgh. I will root for the Pittsburgh baseball team, the Pirates. Um, I would love to see an Indians Guardians Pirates World Series. To me, that I think that would be amazing. Two small market teams battling it out. Perfect. Anyway, back to the news and notes. Jose Ramirez is him. Period. He is by far one of the greatest baseball players in Major League Baseball. Be thankful he's here in Cleveland. We need Josh Naylor if we're going to continue to win. David Large Fry is the unsung hero of this lineup because he plays everywhere. He hits in different spots in the order, and he continues to hit. I have one question for you, Mr. Bryan Shaw, aka Mr. Onion Lover. What is the secret sauce for the Cleveland Guardians?
Why have they been doing
Yes,
this?
exactly.
Love and
Why
friendship? Vibes?
love and friendship?
I'd
The
say
hot dog race, the condiment race, what?
I mean, it could be, but I think it's been Mr. Austin Hedges coming back to this team, running team meetings, being a leader, being that guy that is able to rile up the troops and probably keep things in perspective when they're not going great.
He's also an amazing relief pitcher. He threw two scoreless innings yesterday. So is there anything dad bod Austin Hedges can't do? Just
Yeah, hit with
he's
the
been a
game on the line
huge
and not get the
but
last out.
that's why you have pinch hitters. That's why you have a bench. That's
They
why
pinched hit for like put him in
yeah,
the other day.
sometimes he is there anything he can't do? I mean, listen, we have count them 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 members of our Guardians team that are going to represent us in Texas at the All-Star game.
And I'd
Starting third
say,
baseman, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, you talked about the bullpen. Only sending Emmanuel Clase from the bullpen is a bit of a
That shocks
travesty.
me.
I mean, Hunter
Hunter
Gaddis is
Gaddis deserved it.
deserving.
Yep.
Uh, there's you could have picked probably 2 or 3 guys from the bullpen
Not
to.
Scott Barlow.
No, not Scott
Somebody
Barlow, but
other,
like
not
Tim
Scott Barlow,
Herron
but
or
Herron's been great. Henches has been great. Uh, 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 Nick Sandlin has been great when he's not hurt.
he got. I think he's broken. My
Might be
dude
broken.
Nick, I really liked Nick, and then he got
Might be
hurt, and then he's
broken.
come back and gotten crushed a couple of games. So somebody
Yeah,
broke him,
well,
and
we'll see.
my dude needs fixed. So but think about
And he
this.
could. Eli Morgan could be coming back. You got James Karinchak that's missing. Got options. If
Yeah.
we got to send him down to Columbus to get him to figure it out, so be it.
So finish up our all-star lineup.
Back, we have our starting third baseman, Jose Ramirez, who was also participating in the home run derby. And I'm going to say this right now, July 12th, 2024 at 2:21 p.m., Brian, I'm calling it now. Jose Ramirez wins the home run derby.
I don't know about that.
He's winning the home run derby. I'm
Okay.
saying before anybody else says it, I'm saying it.
All right.
You heard it here first. You have our starting outfielder, Stephen Kwan, who's hitting 363, folks. Stephen Kwan is a machine. Closer Emmanuel Clase, 4-1 ERA of 0.83, 39 strikeouts and 44 innings pitched. Your reserves, David Large Fry, 298 average. He's been one of the biggest surprises of 2024, folks.
Yeah, the
And
man
then
has an
Josh Naylor.
8.75 OPS, and
Yeah.
you weren't
He
even
doesn't
sure
even
he was
have a
going to make the
set
team.
position. Right. He
Right.
doesn't have a set position. He's catcher, DH, first base, outfield. We haven't seen him at short. We haven't seen him at second or at third this year.
So
Or center field.
he probably won't but I would love that if he took the All-Star game off because I think he's got a little bit of an elbow issue that he's dealing with. That's why we haven't seen
Maybe.
him at catcher for a while. And I think it's impacting his bat probably too, because he's been on a bit of a
Yeah.
slump.
And then you got Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor is the motor oil of our engine, I think. When Josh Naylor's hitting, this offense is unstoppable. And when he's off, somebody else picks up the slack. So we have 5 Guardians in the All-Star game on Tuesday night in Texas. Tune in. Let's support our guys. Let's see what they can do on a
Our
national
most
stage.
since 2017, I believe, or 2018.
That is what I heard as well. So I'm all for the All-Star break. I think it's coming. I know we need a little bit of a break after the Rays series. They're off. They don't even have to travel after the All-Star break. They start back at home, which I think they absolutely need right now. They have the best home record in all of baseball. I had to double check that. We have the best home record in baseball.
And the fans are showing up. Hang on.
Yeah.
What was the statistic? Let me find it real quick. It was our fastest to a million attendance since 2017, I think is the statistic. Give me a moment.
Yeah.
Give me a moment.
We did. We hit 1 million already in fans,
So
which is
it's from Anthony
fantastic.
Castrovins.
Hmm.
Oh, excuse me. It was the fastest to a million since 2008. They are on pace to reach 2 million in attendance for the first time since 2017. That's where the 2017
Folks,
came from.
when you show up, these guys respond.
And we
When
talked
that
about that.
stadium is full and
They
that
do.
stadium is rocking, these guys respond. So continue to show up. Go support them at home. The weather's been great. We haven't had a ton of rainouts. We haven't had a ton of postponed games. Go down, see the team. You had said earlier, Brian, the Guardians actually have the first pick in the 2024 Major
Yeah, we
League
haven't talked
Draft.
a lot about the draft,
This is the
you and I.
first time the Guardians or the Indians have ever had the
Hmm.
number 1 pick. We've picked second twice. We've had third, fourth, all the way down. So I got a question. Who are we taking at number 1? Who would you like to take? Have you been keeping tabs? I know
I
there's
I've been
5 or
following it
6
a
that
little
they're
bit.
linked to.
I've been following it a little bit. I'd say you cannot go wrong with either Charlie Condon or Travis Bazzana.
See, that's funny because I that's 2 and 3 on my list right now.
Is Weatherholt your number one?
Charlie Condon is number 2. Bazana is 3.
And so is Weatherholt your number one? Or am I?
Weatherhold is 4. Chase Burns is 5.
So who's your number one?
Jack Caglione from the University of Florida. 419, 35 home runs, 72 RBIs in only 66 games.
See,
I
he's
think
been
between
it's a
and he's a
unique
left-handed pitcher as well.
that's a
He's a
unique
two-way.
opinion. It that hasn't been where they've been pointed to in at least from
No,
what I've
it's
read.
been Bazana for the most part.
Mhm.
Condon is slowly picking up, and then Weatherholt's been thrown in a little bit.
From what
But
I've read, it's
looking at,
either Bazzana or Weatherholt seems to be the two that they're
I
thinking
don't
about
understand why we want to take another middle infielder. I just don't. Why are we taking yet another middle infielder?
because you can move them to
If
the
we
outfield. We've
if
seen
we have
this.
to, I
We've
know,
seen
but
this
if we
song and
had to
dance
pick
many
one,
times.
Charlie Condon makes sense. 37 home runs, 100 RBIs, or no, 37 home runs, 78 RBIs, 100 hits in 100 games.
We'll find out Sunday. It's coming.
Sunday,
It's coming very
round
soon.
1, Guardians first pick. I think it has to be either Condon or Caglione because I just think they both have power and above average hitting ability. One's a right-handed hitting power bat, one's a left-handed hitting power bat. Both can play in the outfield, which is what we need. That's my thought. But I don't
Yeah.
think you could go wrong with any of the 5. The Guardians are smart. They know what they're doing.
But
They
let's
may
let's
shock the
throw this
world and
scenario out here. So,
trade. They may trade the first pick.
well, you can't initially. You'd have to pick and then trade whoever it
And
is
they
later.
could do that.
They could.
Yeah, they could do that.
So the thing is that whoever it is, we're not going to see until probably 26, right? Or late 25.
Right.
So it's going to be 2 years.
26. I say 2 years.
Yeah. So it's going to be 2 years. This team might look a little bit different by then. I mean, hopefully we start to trade from some of that glut in the middle infield this coming trade season. And if it is Bazana, what's wrong with a Andreas Jimenez shortstop, Travis Bazana second base? That would look pretty good with,
Yeah.
the Angel has been out in the outfield. Daniel Schneemann has been out in the outfield, and they seem to be just fine out there. So
And we
you've
forget
been able
about
to
Tyler Freeman, who took center field and shocked everybody
he did
when
but
we sent Miles Straw down to AAA. But he's been
struggled
scuffling
with his bat since they've moved him out of that leadoff spot. He hasn't been able to seem to get that magic back that he had when he was batting leadoff while Stephen Kwan was injured.
Nope. Well, Brian, before we wrap up, it's time for second half predictions, because when we record again, we'll be in the second half of the season. Trade deadline's coming up. Here are my predictions. You can book them, take them to the bank, call me out, make fun of me, whatever you want to do. It's up to you guys. I don't care. It's my feelings. Here we go. Ride the train. This team's going to continue to win at the trade deadline. They will add a right-handed hitting power bat, maybe Randy Arozarena, as well as they will get a back end rotation arm. It may not be somebody that we're really high on, but it's somebody that can help eat innings and keep our young starters safe. I say the Guardians win the Central
a starter
Division.
like Kikuchi might be that guy, and
He
he's a
could be.
rental and
Yeah.
doesn't have a great ERA this season, but he would be a third or fourth starter for you.
Hey, the Guardians are going to pick up the phone. They're going to start making calls. It's coming. I say the Guardians win the Central. They're going to have the number 1 seed in the American League. We are going to win the American League Championship Series, and we are World Series bound, folks. I'm telling you right now, there's something about this team I cannot think.
You're feeling the magic, huh?
If we stay healthy, we continue to play the way that we do, and we continue to win series, there is no doubt in my mind that we can finally end our 70 how many year World Series drought where we win one, and it's time for the Guards to be champs. I'm just there it is. It's out there. It's been recorded. I can't go back.
I agree with you. I think they're going to go for it. I've heard some interviews with both Antonetti and Chernoff, and they have referenced the time frame of 2016 to 2019 when they were making deals during the trade deadline. And that, it was a line from Antonetti that said something along the lines of, we know we have to take these opportunities seriously, kind of thing. So I don't think we're going to see a repeat of 22 where they sat on their hands. I think they think this one may be a little more real. And you also have more obvious, like, you need a starting pitcher. You have that. That's a glaring need. Like, to not try to go get one, even if it's going to cost a lot, even if you have to trade from the bullpen, I think would really, fans aren't going to like it. And it would mean that's just leaving a lot up to chance of, well, you better hope Tristan comes back, and you better hope Logan Allen comes back, and you better hope Gavin Williams can stay healthy, and you better hope that Carlos Carrasco doesn't get another old man injury. And I'm the same age as Carlos Carrasco, so I get it. I sleep funny and my neck hurts. So, and he's a starting pitcher in the MLB. So, I'm that's not a knock on him, but you don't usually rely on too many pitchers in their late 30s.
He's 37 years old. Right, yeah. 37. We have Ben Lively, which he's been a diamond in the rough. Can he continue the trend that he's on? Like, we still have pitchers in AAA that we still haven't seen. Joey Cantillo, he could potentially get called up at some point to throw. There's options
he started
on the
off
table.
injured, so
Yeah, he's starting
Um,
game 2 of the doubleheader for Columbus tonight.
and that is another thing that we hadn't really talked about, is that there are a couple of guys that you could see maybe help the rotation out from Columbus. It was a little bit rough there for a while, but
Yeah,
I don't. The other young kid that got called up from Akron to Columbus,
Doug Nikhazy.
yes, Nikhazy, thank you. He's another
Doug
one
Nikhazy.
that we
Yeah,
might
he's
see make
really
a
good.
quick jump, as
Yeah.
he's pitched really well so far in Columbus.
I
So
mean, the cupboard is not bare in
no,
AAA. There are some pitchers. We're gonna need to protect the young guys like Tanner Bybee and Logan Allen and Tristan McKenzie, and we're gonna have to save Carrasco because age is gonna catch you. Father Time is undefeated,
yes, it is.
so
Unless you're Tom Brady or LeBron James, those are the only two people.
even I don't know. Father Time's gonna catch them eventually. They're just freaks of nature, and it'll come. It'll happen soon enough. But guys, buckle up. Watch the All-Star game Tuesday night. Watch the Home Run Derby Monday night. I'm excited to watch the Futures game on Saturday. Lots of young up and coming talent. I don't know if the Guardians are sending anybody to the Futures game.
I think we
I
have
have to
I
check.
think we have one guy. I think it's the
Okay.
second baseman.
Okay. That's great. Watch I love the celebrity game. That's always fun. It's in Texas, I get it, but home 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 field advantage for the World Series is on the line here. If the Guardians are going to go to the World Series, which they are,
Yes, Ralphie Velasquez is our
he's a
representative.
catcher infielder. Yes, up and coming. I can't wait to watch Ralphie play. It looks really good.
And then
Um,
also Jason Churio.
okay. So 2 Guardians are going to play in the game. There's 2 reasons to watch it. You got the All-Star game. There's 5 reasons to watch it. There's 5 Guardians. Watch the Home Run Derby. Watch Jose shock the world and beat everybody.
So
Why
yeah,
not?
I mean, to recap, like, I think we've summed things up to tell people enough. Yeah, maybe the last week hasn't been ideal, but there's a lot that has exceeded expectations. There's a lot to still be excited about, and hopefully fans keep showing up, because I know the players feed off of it, and they have shown up. To hit 1 million in attendance already, I think is a great thing, and hopefully it keeps up.
Folks, it's been a great first half. Let's finish strong. We got Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. Well, no, it's St. Pete in that crap hole of a stadium called Tropicana Field. We have Tampa Bay tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday afternoon, and then it's All-Star break. Let's relax. Let's rest. Let's enjoy it. The baseball season starts back up Friday next week, where the Guardians are at home, and I believe they play. I don't remember who we start up against. I didn't look, but it doesn't matter because we're just going to keep winning. Cue the DJ the DJ Khaled, another one. All we do is win. And that's what we're going to do, folks. We're just going to keep rolling. We're riding this train until the very end,
They
until the
host the
wheels fall off.
Padres on the way back.
Bring in San Diego, Manny
And
Machado,
then
Fernando
we
Tatis.
host
Let's go.
Detroit for another 4, which I think will
Good.
go
Maybe we can.
differently than the first
Let's.
4.
It could. Brian, it's always a pleasure. They can find
Absolutely.
us on Twitter and Facebook. We'll be on YouTube as well if you want to see our ugly mugs. We're on Spotify. You guys have been great. Till the second half. We'll see you soon. Go Guards.
Go Guards. Talk to you hopefully with some trade news.